Right, guys and girls, welcome back to the Par FORE Podcast presented by Golf Magic. You are joining the trifecta of brilliant golfers, myself, Johnny, and Will, coming at you to talk about all things golf, US Open, Rory McIlroy, and much, much more. Will, how are you today, you beautiful bastard?
I am doing very well, thank you, you lovable man. Yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling good. Good to catch up with the boys. Looking forward to the third major of the year. Who isn't? I'm looking forward to this week. It's going to be fun. As every week, the major does get a bit exciting. We're going to talk about maybe our picks or who we think's going to win. Colin. I'm looking forward to catching up with the boys. How are you both doing?
We're good, mate. Johnny, I'll come to you. How are you doing on this wonderful Wednesday morning with your vomit persons behind you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm at my parents' house. Played golf yesterday, which is good. Won a comp. Got a nice little polo shirt as a winning. We had a massive 95 points as a 3 in two best scores to count Stableford. So we absolutely blew away the competition, and my handicap has dropped by 0.6. So all's going well in the golf world. Looking forward to Pinehurst. Was watching a bit of the coverage last night, and the greens are looking pretty diabolical. So that should always be fun to watch. It's always quite nice seeing the pros kind of put under the thumb a touch. So I'm looking forward to the week. Hopefully Scheffler doesn't run away with it, but judging by the way he's been playing, he probably will. But I'm assuming anyway that there's going to be some an entertaining 4 days of golf.
100%. Let's talk about it now, with Pinehurst number 2 being on every eager golfer's minds. As you said, Johnny, we've seen some pretty dangerous clips of the course over the last few days. Like I touched upon Pinehurst several times. I'm going to go to you. I want 2 picks. I don't want any more. We're going to be a bit strict in this one. 2 picks for you.
So I think my 2 picks for this week. I sound like a bit of a broken record, so forgive me. But the way he played last weekend or last week, and his Sunday efforts, honestly, I thought it was going to go to a playoff, and I was like at the screen, like screaming at it because I really hope it would have done. But I think Colin's got it in the bag again. I think he deserves it. I think he's a wholesome guy. I love him. I love his attitude. I love his game. So I reckon he has hopefully a good chance. I'm kind of off Rory at the moment. He's a quality ball striker, but it's just, not you. Is that you agreeing with me?
I'll let you know when it comes to my picks, mate.
Right, okay. But I don't want to say Scotty because it's not exciting anymore. It's almost like, I think we said about it before about Verstappen constantly winning the F1. It's just getting a bit boring. So I'm going to go Colin, and I'm going to go Sahith Theegala.
Good man.
Wild
card. Well done, Willie Woods.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I've gone for actually 2 wholesome picks. But no, I think Sahith, I'd love for him to win. Win, let alone a major. I think that'd be amazing. He's come close to a few tournaments this year. He's played incredible golf. So I think
the worst course for him. This man plays like Jordan Spieth on steroids. He will miss fairways by 60 yards. You can't do that at a US Open venue. You've seen the rough.
We will see, sir. I mean, I'm going to vote Brooks.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, let's move to the last then. Let's go to Johnny because he agrees with me.
Johnny, you go for it, mate. I do like your picks, by the way. I really like Colin.
Yeah. Oh, do you do now? Oh my God! Can we get that on tape, please? Thanks.
I am going to go with 2 people. 2 people I don't think I've picked for any tournaments this year. I think I maybe had one of them as a bit of an outsider for the Masters, but I'm going to go with Matt Fitzpatrick because he's accurate and he's a fantastic putter and he's got a good short game. So I think all of those components, and he obviously won at Brookline, so he's kind of got that major win off his back. So I think his game is quite a good fit for the course. And my second is going to be Hideki Matsuyama.
Whoa.
He is I think this week, because like all of the greens are basically like upside down saucepans. you've got to be accurate, obviously, with your irons. And Hideki's just a kind of generational ball striker, but you've also got to have like fantastic touch around the greens. And Matsuyama is currently ranked as the number one player for strokes gained around the greens this year on the PGA Tour. So he's got the touch, he's got the finesse. Obviously, another former major champion. So is again, I've gone for kind of course fits rather than form for Pinehurst, because I think everyone's going to find it tough. Like classic US Open setup, they're going to make it really, really tricky. And so I'm kind of leaning into players who I think will be able to navigate the tricky situations and the kind of delicate shots around the greens most effectively. I think if I'm honest, Scheffler I think is going to win, but I think it's just too boring to pick him. So I've gone slightly outside.
No, great picks. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think this is our picks that we're giving here are with the overarching sense that Scotty's still going to win.
Yeah.
We're adding a little bit of spice in the mix.
I almost didn't know last weekend, so I reckon, I think he did make a few little silly mistakes, but I think,
he made a few silly mistakes around Memorial, which is just he missed the fairway by a yard. It's not like he played bad.
These are silly mistakes, sir.
For Scotty, of course they are. But I watched some of his highlights and stuff back to back, and I'm like, I've never seen someone have such like disgusting control of his club face than him right now. And what makes it worse is that he looks like a fish when you chuck it out of water, just like flopping about when he swings. So it just makes it even more entertaining. But I'm not picking him. I like Johnny's picks, I really do. I'm going to pick Bryson as my kind of like main pick. He has been, I think, unfortunately, I'm not too confident on it because he's getting a lot of media coverage. He's now no longer a dark horse. So I think that might get to him a little bit. But we've talked about him before in the pod. He's a really likable bloke. He shaved the moustache off as well, which was hideous, which is even better.
Keeping that.
No, but I think what was a par 70 playing 7,600 yards. Distance is key. But accuracy is key as well. And also, for those saucepan greens, as Johnny mentioned, you need quite a high ball flight. I believe his average apex for all of his clubs is the highest across Live and PGA Tour. So it will help him try to actually get on that saucepan. So he's my number one pick. Max Homa is my second pick. I think he's finally getting that mental strength for majors. Unfortunately, he usually is someone who plays a lot better on the West Coast. But that being said, I still have faith that he could do well. He's done okay so far in the majors this year. Should have actually done a lot better in the last two. US Open could suit him. He's an incredible ball striker. Don't have too much stat space in that. He's just one of my favourite players. So we're going to go for that. There is something that I want to touch upon that we kind of briefly spoke about, which is just Rory. None of us have picked him. A man who is the best driver of the golf ball, I think. I mean, I've certainly ever seen. I think any golfer would have ever seen. He's someone who can hit 360 yards. These fairways are baked, and he is extremely accurate. But we've all stayed away from the man who is still on pretty good form. And I know why I have, but we just got some breaking news last night that he's still with his wife, Erica Stoll. They are not getting divorced. They've called that off I think they said just before because they want to make it work, which is good to see. Obviously, they've got a family. But I'm looking at that. Well, I'm going to come to you here. I'm looking at that and I'm like, how can someone think straight when they've got... And obviously they're like, oh, we're going to make it work. Like, it's very clearly that he's still beefing with her hard. They're still not like, oh, we're great and whatnot. They're obviously still trying to work it out. It can't be that great. If he's got this going on behind the scenes, do you think he can focus on a course that requires almost like psychopathic, like he needs to focus every single second?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be tough. I mean, there's all these allegations of him getting really close with the broadcaster and all this. And I think it just got a bit blown out of proportion. But yeah, I mean, they must have been in talks for the past couple of weeks, working out what they should really do with their situation. But to decide that, oh no, we're going to just stay together at like one of the most important weeks of the year is, I mean, a lot was probably rushing through his head. Maybe he just wanted to just squash it all and focus on the tournament. I don't know. If he comes out and wins this, will he divorce her again and be like, no, okay, I've won now. But it was all just, he didn't even even down to when the divorce kind of was happening, he didn't hand deliver the papers himself. He got someone else to deliver them. Is that correct or something?
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I mean, like they said, they've got a little one. And I think, like I said, family's important, but it's just what made them decide, you know what, this is all silly. Let's just get together. I don't know. I think for the whole situation got blown out of proportion, but to have that on his mind, I mean, that might be enough for him to be get in the zone and be like, okay, I'm going to win this. So we'll see how he fares. Come tomorrow.
Yep. Well, that's very well put. Johnny, what do you think about the situation? Do you think a professional golfer, a human being, can concentrate when they've got that much stuff going on?
Well, I mean, when I have to get my dishwasher repaired, that distracts me from most things. So I can't imagine how stressful it must be going through a divorce and then flipping back to not getting a divorce. The whole situation, I think, is quite strange. And to be fair, I'm actually really happy for them. Obviously, divorce is a horrible thing to have to go through, especially when there's children involved. So who knows what was going on behind the scenes? I think the Balionis rumors, I think they were probably just rumors. Who knows if there was any kind of substantial evidence behind them. But yeah, it's a strange one. Kind of never really seen something like that kind of happen in golf before. So it's, who knows? But I mean, McIlroy said when it was first announced that they were getting divorced, that he actually finds that when his private life is most turbulent, his golf seems to get better. I think when he called off his wedding with Caroline Wozniacki, he obviously won the USPGA, I think it was, fairly soon after that. So he's obviously an elite athlete, good at focusing his mind when he gets on the golf course. I personally don't have him as a favourite this week. He's still one of the best players in the world. But he's just got, I think it more than anything, he's just got so much major golf scar tissue now. Yeah. And every single one that ticks by, that pressure just increases. And I think he will get one eventually, but I think it will be out of the blue when we're not suspecting it.
He's 35.
He's 35, so he's still got, I'd say, 10 years of really fit athletic golf left in him.
Yeah,
because he keeps himself in such good shape. So I don't think he'll win this week. I think he will struggle to focus, as is kind of inevitable. Yeah. But I think it's great to see that they have settled their differences and they're going to work through it. I'm pleased for the both of them.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think then, you mentioned that the scar tissue from majors, do you think that's going to play more of a part than what is likely going to be the scar tissue from his current relationship?
I think it's kind of a combination of the two. I don't think the two are necessarily separate entities. He knows everyone wants to win. He knows everyone wants him to win. And I think he must inevitably feel like he's kind of underperforming at majors. You mount on top of that everything that's going around in his personal life. And you can't help but think there's going to be a lot of things just bouncing around in his head. Like if they're trying to settle the differences, I think if they got divorced, then it's kind of like a clean slate. You can just think, right, I can move on, deal with the proceedings, and then it's a fresh start. But now, if there is any, I don't know, if there's obviously some scars that need to be healed in order for them to get back on track. And if you've got that to consider, as well as trying to play your best golf, as well as trying to compete with Scotty Scheffler, all of the live people are back. It's a kind of bit of a tornado scenario for him. But I mean, he's got the game, and as Scheffler proved at the PGA, you can still play good golf when you've got other stuff going on. So I'm not counting him out. He'll probably finish in the top 10 as he kind of typically does at majors. But I think it's maybe a stretch too far to believe that he's going to get the W this week.
Yep, I agree with you there. My thing with a course that people are looking at being is it going to be one of those majors that's going to be over par? So it's going to be a frustrating four rounds, 72 holes. it's going to be something that needs your focus and needs that kind of mental strength.
Mm-hmm.
I understand professional golfers all have arguably the best mental strength in the world to be able to play at their best. They need to not get angry and frustrated. But if you've kind of got that, not just the scar tissue that you mentioned, but now we've got that, and as you just said it all out loud, live golfers, everything, all the pressure, and now this thing, I've been like, we're getting back together, which people are now realising, that's something else in there. If he has a bad day or a bad hole or a bad shot, that like little bit of anger, that little bit of cortisol, and then rushes through and being like, I'm a bit more stressed now, might be magnified because he's now like could potentially now start thinking of, I've just shanked it into the rough that's 3 foot high, and my wife hates me or something like that, and I've got these cheating rumors, like little things coming into your head, and then he's not going to be able to talk to his caddy and be like, okay, this is how I play the shot. He's going to be like, screw this, I'm just going to hit it.
At least
be red.
We've spoken about it before, the fact that McIlroy should potentially get a different caddy on the bag. But I think in this specific scenario, having his best mate will probably be really helpful.
Like therapeutic in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because he'll know exactly what's going on, and they can chat about it like mates, rather than it being a more professional relationship that you might have with
or
something like that. So Harry Diamond could play a pivotal role this week. It's. Yeah, I don't know. I think Martin Keimer said he thinks the winning score could be about 6 over. So that gives you a good kind of indicator as to how tough they must think it really is.
6 over par.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I mean, to be fair, the US Open typically set it up so that level par wins, don't they? That's kind of their thing.
They try to. We haven't really seen that much recently. And to be honest, I think it's good that you mentioned that, because I've actually always been someone who's enjoyed more of the birdie fests when I watch tournament. I like seeing the golfers playing at their best. I think I remember seeing one course I didn't particularly like was Olympia 2012 when Webb Simpson won. And I was just like, well, these fairways are bloody tiny, and then the rough's 6 foot tall. So it's just like, I didn't really enjoy that much. Looking at Pinehurst, I think it's a different test. So if they shoot 6 over there, I think that's going to be one or, if not the most enjoyable golf we can watch, because it's not like, they've still got fairways that are somewhat wise. It's just if you miss them, you're in the sand, you're in some fescue. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It also, Scheffler made an interesting point yesterday during his press conference. Most golf courses they play, when they're really tough, the rough is really thick, and if the roll-off zones, you're rolling into thick rough. And he said it's then really, really difficult to hit a really good shot because you just don't have the control out of that thick rough. And he said, at least at Pinehurst, all of the roll-off areas are just onto fairway grass. So if you are at a position with your approach shot and you do roll off, you then at least have the ability to hit a miraculous shot to recover. And it's kind of like in your control. And we've seen a lot of people practicing putting from miles off the greens, using hybrids, fairways.
Colin was using
I think it will be really difficult. But it will mean that the best player will prevail, because it is down to them in order to conjure up some kind of magic. And by removing this kind of super thick rough around the greens, it takes out that kind of variable of kind of a certain degree of luck, I guess. Like, because you could with that rough, you could hit what would potentially be a good shot, just get about that much grass between you and the ball, and it either goes nowhere or you catch a flyer and it goes miles over. So at least hitting off the fairway, if you hit a bad shot, it's your fault. Like it's not down to the course. And I think that's a better test of golf than just super penal rough.
Yeah, that's well put there. I think when we've been seeing some of the interviews this week from some of the players, I'm almost looking at me like, I can tell who could win and who couldn't. Like Wyndham and Clark were already saying, the greens are borderline, being like, so you hate the course, that's fine. And then you have to, with Scotty Scheffler saying what you've just said there, I'm like, all right, Scotty's going to win by 12 then. So good stuff. Okay. I think you have to go into it being excited to play a difficult course rather than being grumpy. And so like Wyndham's already out of it.
I hate that whining from Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
Like they know it's going to be tough. That's part of the charm.
For God's sake. Yeah.
Like it's the same for everyone as well. Like, and I know, when was it? Was it Shinnecock Hills where everyone was annoyed at the pin place? And it's, I think inevitably what you don't want to see is good shots being punished. That's always what they say. Like, if good shots are punished, then it's too unfair. And I think we probably will see a bit of that this week.
Yeah.
But as previously mentioned, you've then got the opportunity to recover from that, and that's what's going to separate separate the cream from the crop. I think it'll be I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I wasn't old enough I didn't watch when Keimer won it, and so I'm very excited to see how it all plays out on TV. I think it's going to be a fun watch.
I agree. I think what you said there about the greens or the shots being punished, even if they're good, it's like factually true. You can land a shot 5 foot away from the hole and it could roll off if it's not on the correct bit of this, messed up saucepan. But players know that. Players know that you have to land it in the correct spot. And I don't think we're not saying that. Come on, the course isn't that hard. The course will be bloody impossible. The course will not be enjoyable to play, but it's their job. If we're going there for a lads trip and we're playing, that condition, then I would probably want my money back. Because I'm not going to have fun. You're not going to have fun. No one's going to have fun. Whereas they're doing this as their profession. You've got to knuckle down. Essentially, it's all right. You're in for a bit of a bad week type thing. Everyone has those at their jobs, except one person at their job's going to win 4 million quid out of it. So when someone's saying, "Oh, the greens are borderline," being like, "Well, mate, people get shouted at them and project manager roles and all that stuff every single week. People have to pick up litter for their jobs. I think you're probably all right playing on greens that are running at 15 on the stint. It's one of those things." So
it makes you wonder though, like you said, the winning score might be 6 over, and these are professional players. Could you imagine us three going round? What?
what would you shoot, Will?
Oh my God! I mean, I only broke 90 2 weeks ago. So I mean, I don't know. I think it would be funny, but also be kind of frustrating.
I wouldn't be fun. It would not be fun. I don't think us playing it.
Yeah.
It would be eye-opening for sure.
But
just to see it, the thing
is, Manning's that much more.
For sure. I know the rough's really high, but let's say if we were playing it like there were people there, so you would never lose your ball. I don't think triple every hole, double every hole. I wouldn't break 100. I don't think I'd break 110.
Yeah, it's even the rough. The ball. I think we posted something on our socials yesterday. Yeah, a reshare, but you drop the ball in the rough or whatever, and it's just gone. It's disappeared. And you could imagine if we were playing around it, trying to look for the ball, you just be nah. It's definitely around here. I'll just take a crowd drop. Yeah, and you'd have to do that on every single shot, and it would just be wow. Yeah.
Or I was thinking with the saucepan. All I'm thinking about the saucepan greens is when you play mini golf and you've got volcano holes where you've got the hole at the top and you keep going back down. Those things have given me trauma because I've made 9s or 10s that keeps going up and down. Obviously, it's not the same, but I'm thinking if you're chipping from back and forth. Johnny saw me at the Grove last week when I was blading it back and forth, and those greens were pretty tame. If I'm doing it with greens running at 15, it could if you miss a green, I'm thinking double or triple. So I don't think anyone who is, I think a scratch golfer would struggle to break 100 round there. I think just because of how difficult it is really going to be. I know people will probably debate me on that, but.
Chipping onto domed greens is so difficult as well.
Yeah,
I've played a couple of courses this year, Pete Dye courses, and all of the greens were pretty much like plateau greens, and it just makes.
How are you going to play that though?
Well, I mean, you've just got to be super accurate with your approach shots. Yeah. It's the same kind of at Royal St George's. I had the same experience there. Unless you are pinpoint with your irons, the ball is just going to roll off, and obviously St George's is slightly to chip at just because it's kind of links turf, which we're kind of used to in this country. But I've played a couple of courses and it's just getting that control, or if you're trying to just bump it into the bank and get it to roll out, or everything's above you, which kind of means you've got to add a loft to the club. Yeah, it's maniacal. But I mean, if anyone can do it, these guys these guys are the best in the world. And to be fair, Scheffler's short game, we talk about his ball striking all the time, but his chipping is just outrageous. You would maybe say his putting might get called into question, but even that's been solid this year since he got on the bag. So I think he's once again, unsurprisingly, because he's the best player in the world, set up really well to do. I mean, we said he was going to win the Masters by 6 shots. He could do the same this week, I think.
I agree. It's one of those things. I remember people were saying, what was it, in March or something like, oh, he's never won after April or something like that. I'm like, oh, he's got like a boogie thing, and then he obviously won Memorial fairly comfortably. I was like, oh, all right, so that's actually not a thing anymore. Cool. It really is.
We're getting near with Scheffler. Woods' best season, I think, was 9 wins.
Yeah,
Scheffler's on 5, and obviously from 5 to 9, 4 is a lot. And winning a PGA tournament is difficult, but he doesn't look like anyone is going to stop him at the moment.
No, he doesn't look fatigued or anything. It looks like
the more he gets, the more exciting it gets, I think.
Yeah,
because we're getting into that Tiger-esque realm of dominance, and we haven't had that really since Tiger. So I think if he keeps it up, we're looking at one of the all-time years.
Even being in the same conversation as Tiger is just insane. Like,
100%.
In the same breath, it's kind of like
he's better off the tee than Tiger was. I'm going to go and say it. Yeah. Like, he's a better driver of the golf ball than Tiger.
Starting to look at Scotty and be like, he's got a little bit of something about him now. I used to think he was quite boring. Be like, his personality, but now after all the
he's getting,
he's got. I hate to use aura because I'm 28 years old, but like, I kind of like that thing about him. Like, he's got
built different.
Bit of, he's built different.
For another Gen Z phrase, he is built different.
TaylorMade must be absolutely loving it. Like, it's just like, oh, you want what the best player in the world to have? Oh, yeah, sure, okay. And it's just everyone at the moment just TaylorMade.
They've got the best man and best woman, and they've both just been absolutely tearing it up this year.
Yeah, it's big up TaylorMade. They are they're smashing it.
It's actually mad. I mean, I'd be curious to see the sales of like all the QI10 stuff like this year compared to like their competitors. I'm just, especially with the amount that they're winning in tournaments and stuff. I bet, because the thing is, you see Scott, you see Nelly use it, and you go, oh, you know what? If I get one, I'll be better. And that's
the fact that Scheffler is using the QI10 standard model and Calder is using the Max as well. Because you would have previously said Scheffler probably goes straight into the LS, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The fact that they're using the kind of flagship model and the one aimed more at forgiveness,
that's what's pretty wild.
Probably the one being tested by most amateur golfers, I would imagine. I would have thought their flagship model would be flying off the shelves. And they're great drivers.
They're doing very well, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Johnny's been hitting that fade.
Yeah, there's a fade man now.
Big news for the pod. I'm now a fader of the golf ball. And I trialed it to begin with and absolutely hated it. And I've just kind of tempered it. I've been going to the range a bit in order to just kind of find the right swing feels. But yeah, it went well yesterday. I was hitting it good. I found that it's
feel good.
There's still work needs doing with the driver, but with my approach play is much more accurate now, I think.
Lovely.
I'm talking to arguably the godfather of the fade on Monday. I'm talking to Colin Montgomery. I'm interviewing.
Are you?
Yeah. So I'm going to pick his brains about how to make it work for me. I've only got 20 minutes with him, so we're primarily covering the US Open and the Open at Troon. But I might try and sneak in a little technical question about how to control the fade.
Good idea. I think that's good for everyone, not just yourself. Everyone listening. The fade is you can listen. You can talk to a fade and it'll listen. A draw.
So you're saying goes. Yeah.
I've found that out religiously over the last few months. Right. Let's talk about our golf. Just a little bit before we end the pod. I will quickly touch upon a new piece of equipment that has just been emailed to me. That's been released. The new Callaway Mini Driver going to rival the TaylorMade Burner Mini. I'm going to be honest here. And it's on the pod. I've hit one shot with it.
Yep, and I have your first shot on camera.
I'm going to put it up as B-roll for everyone to see now.
I'll make sure I send it to you after this recording.
The coldest of tops straight into the grass under me. But I tell you what, it sounded nice. So it's one of those things. I will be honest as well. I'm going off the Mini Driver. It's just not worth it for me.
Not even the TaylorMade one?
Even the TaylorMade one. I'm going to stick to a 2-iron and a 7-wood. 2 different launch characteristics. 2-iron goes bloody miles right now. It's in my good books.
That 7-wood, though, is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, 7-woods are cool as well. They go really high. Don't think I'm really going to put it in the bag when I'm in Ireland next week for links golf, because it seems pretty stupid. But the 2-iron is just, it goes a similar distance by a mini. Not saying that mini drivers are bad. A lot of people, I think, use them instead of drivers. I currently have a very forgiving driver in the bag of the Ping G430 Max 10K. Doesn't seem like it's the one for me. So that's my golf very briefly. Will, talk to me about your golf, because we had we didn't have a pod last week, and you had some breaking news that
celebrating.
Tell us. Seriously, breaking news. I forgot we didn't have a pod last week. But yeah, no, I as everyone knows, I'm the resident 28 handicapper for Golf Magic, as well as the incredibly talented videographer. Anyway, I went and played golf with my dad and shot 87. Yeah, like I honestly don't know what went wrong then. What went right? I think, I put the Ping G430 Max 10K in the bag. So I was very reluctant to give that back to Big Al. But yeah, no, everything was just going right. And it's a good round when you go around with one ball. Like usually I'm going in my bag, picking out another golf ball because I've either lost it or God knows what happened. But yeah, and then me and my dad both birdied the last hole, and it was a good end to the round. But honestly, I was just over the moon, and then I was like really bigging it up, and then I go play golf the next time, and it was car crash. So it's it's frustrating, because you think, how the hell can I go from that to not being able to hit a ball? But no, it was a big achievement for me. And I think it was around the same time that, was it Riggs from Foreplay also broke 90?
Trent.
Wasn't Riggs.
No, not Riggs. Trent broke 90 as well. Which, the amount of golf he plays, you'd think that would have happened sooner, but by the by.
Firing shots, will he?
No, of course not. No, I think it was wholesome. I watched the video and it was lovely to see. And Frankie really bigging him up, like the support he was getting. I thought that was lovely. It was really nice. But no, yeah. So golf game is kind of getting there. I'm now starting to really focus on hitting the fade. I'm just gonna, I think that I'd rather get myself in the fairway and sacrifice distance. And we played last weekend, and it was a few little silly mistakes. But I think if I encourage the fade to happen and play from there, I think it will be good for me. So
well put. This with that much of golfers and stuff. Everyone's got a ball flight. People don't hit it straight. Professional golfers don't hit it straight. You and a lot of other people will hit fade. Sometimes it's a bad shot, slice, but just aim at the left side of the fairway, even left rough, and let that ball like far straight into the middle. It's not a problem. I was saying to you on Sunday, you don't hit it left, you hit it right. You can eliminate half the golf course if you just accept that. It's not a bad thing. And the thing we said to you about your swing is that I think people look at high handicap golfers and they think they don't hit it very far. You can hit it quite far. You've got quite a fast swing speed. So as long as you just make sure you stop topping your little chip shots and whatnot and stop being an idiot around the greens, you'll probably be able to break 90 quite consistently.
Well, I thought it was a safe place to talk.
Just stop topping those little chip shots, Will.
But yeah, you little bitch.
Johnny, let's finish up on your wonderful golf. I know you touched upon Charter Hills. How's it going? Because I know you've been through the wars and parts. Have you now finally turned a corner?
It's been a tough year. It has been a tough year for my golf game. Huh? Yeah. But it's been tough. But I think we've turned a corner. I think I mentioned it before, maybe, that I had a lesson with my dad, and he's convinced me to switch from a draw to a fade. So I'm sacrificing a bit of distance, especially off the tee. That's where I've really noticed it most. But my biggest issue previously, one was what was costing me so many shots per round, was just lost balls off the tee. Either that one that just stays right, or the snappy hooky one. And so, as you said, you try and eliminate one side of the golf course. If you know you're going to hit it left to right every time, then it's easier to avoid those big numbers. And yesterday at Chart Hills, I did still have one or two big numbers, but for completely different reasons. I caught a flyer out of the rough and carried my 7-iron about 190 yards, which airmailed the green by like 30, which cost me. And then the other penalty I had was playing the wrong ball. So that's those two.
No way.
Avoidable. Yeah.
No.
I thought I hit it left into the rough, and then it was another Titleist ball, so I chipped it out into the fairway, and then I was about to hit a 3-wood into the green and realised that I had played the wrong ball. So that cost me.
Say if you with that, if you just didn't say anything, like would anyone have realised, or would you like?
If they didn't realise without you saying it, let's say 2 or 3 holes later.
I doubt it, but then that would have been cheating. That would have been cheating, Will.
But also, you don't want to be honest, don't you? Like,
yeah. Well, there's no point. If we'd just been playing, like, if I'd just been playing with my mates, I'd have been like, oh, it was the wrong ball, and just carried on playing the hole. But as it was in like an event in a comp.
Yeah, to be fair, if it's an event, you can't do that. I mean, I'm not used to playing those, so I'll just be like, yeah, that's my ball.
I then actually hit probably like the purest 3-wood I've ever hit. But I'd zapped the hill behind the hole rather than the flag. So again, I airmailed the green by 2 yards. So there was some errors, but they were not the kind of errors that will keep me up at night. Can't really have any issues with a flyer. That's just bad luck, and playing the wrong ball, that's just silly for me. But they weren't super destructive, like banana slices out to the right or thin chips or anything like that. So it was hopefully trending in the right direction. And to be fair, we're coming into golf season now, so that's kind of when you want to be peaking, really, isn't it?
And you lowered your handicap, so you're heading in the right direction.
We've got June, so we've got 6 months to get down to single figures. So I need to drop 2 shots off my handicap in 6 months.
That's easy,
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
We believe in you, Johnny. And so is everyone listening to the Wonderful Golf Magic podcast. We're going to finish it up there, as we want Johnny to go and practice his short game, and we want to get and cover the US Open. Guys, let us know down in the comments who you think is going to win, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast either on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. There'll be plenty more coming up in the next few weeks, but that is it from us this week. We'll catch you next week.